saved my life. We've also learned that we are getting free oxygen all the time. 24/7, we are getting free oxygen. But do we ever stop to thank the universe for this beautiful stream of oxygen that is coming to us free of cost? It has taught us the power of coming together as a community, that can we come together, can we collect together, can we learn from each other, can we drop our egos and our boundaries and learn to be more one with life, one with each other, one with the truth, one with the silent guidance of the heart. So I'm very grateful to Master COVID. I'm calling it Master because Master Virus, tiny virus, has taught us so many things. But also there is a challenge, and that challenge is Master COVID has also created a lot of disruption. The virus has created disruption in the way we learn, in the way schools and colleges function. I'm sure many of you must be having online classes, in the way teachers teach, in the way we work, in the way we look after each other. It has created huge changes. And a new world is waiting to be born. A new world which is spiritually fulfilling, socially just, environmentally sustainable, and wholesome. And who is going to create the world? Who will create this world? It is you, young leaders, who will create this new world. I see you all, friends, as leaders. And the primary function of leaders is to create new futures. So you, me, Sheena, Vijayam, Dr. John, all of us together. And there's so many friends who are concerned about compassion and truth and peace and environment friendliness, like many of you are, many of us, all of us are. We together will create the new future. And this session today, this session will be about a few things to keep in mind to create new futures that we are proud to hand over to our children, to our grandchildren. We are proud to hand over to future generations. A future that is fulfilling, joyful, happy, enthusiastic, healthy, and fun. And today it's not the case. Today there is a lot of suffering, and as many of you have very honestly, authentically put in that questionnaire, there is a huge amount of suffering. You have put things like depression and anxiety and worry about the future, worry about our work, employment, deep concern about health, deep concern about cyber addiction, addictions to alcohol, to drugs, bullying each other, body shaming, and the kind of things that I saw in what you had written is disturbing. But I was equally enthused and heartened by seeing your strengths, your intentions of what you want to do, how you want to make a difference. And I salute those noble thoughts that you have also shared in the same questionnaire. So coming back to leadership, if leadership is about new futures, creating new futures, please remember one very, very important thing. You cannot create a new future with the same old thinking, because the same old thinking will get you the same old results. Friends, whether it is your personal life, whether it is your health, whether it is your relationships, whether it is the work you do or how you spend your time or anything, please remember it all begins with your patterns of thinking. If there is no fundamental change in our patterns of thinking, if we do not alter the way we think and the thoughts we carry and the thoughts we hold in our mind, there is no change that will happen outside at all. Because the world is simply an extension of your thinking. Limited thinking, selfish thinking, narrow thinking will lead that kind of world. And pure-hearted thinking, thinking of compassion, of love, of caring, of joy, of beauty, will create that kind of world. So it all starts in the mind. It all begins with how you think, how we think, and where we focus our attention. Now, the good news is that the world is at the cusp of a great opportunity. I think we are at a beautiful crossroad. And the crossroad is, are we going to continue with our old ways of thinking, our old ways of relating, our old ways of communicating and working, or are we going to co-create something which is different, something which is new? So it's a huge opportunity. And young people like you, all of you, are really the ones who can seize this opportunity with a heart full of love, full of joy, passion, and confidence, and clarity and conviction, and seize the day and bring about the changes that the world so desperately needs. I think the other piece of good news is that the world automatically and naturally is meant for compassion. I would like to use a term from computer science, the default condition, the most natural condition of the world is joy, peace, abundance, harmony, oneness, celebration. I mean, you look at nature, you look at the flowers. I'm here in Srinagar, and outside in the lawn, the daisies are blooming. I mean, there's this riot of a carpet of daisies. So if you ever want to come and sleep on daisies, a carpet of daisies, of cherry blossom or apple blossom, just come to Srinagar in spring. There is so much beauty, so much abundance, so much grace, whether it's beneath the surface of the sea, on the sea, the mountains. It is so full of beauty and joy and abundance. And people intrinsically, every one of you, I was so touched. Every one of you said, I want to make a difference. I want to be kinder. I want to be more joyful. I want to be more caring. I want to make a difference. Yeah, people intrinsically are all good at heart. Deep down, everyone wants a beautiful world. We all want to be together. We all want to be loving to each other. A beautiful example of that is children. I mean, pure, innocent children. You look at children and you find that children in their innocence, in their purity, there is so much joy. They are enjoying a cardboard box becomes an aeroplane. A small little wheel, a broken wheel becomes a car, a chappal becomes a camera, and I'm taking a selfie with a chappal. There's so much joy. And there is huge amount of oneness. I don't care if you're a Shia or a Sunni or an Anglican, Orthodox, Christian, or a child doesn't care. Whether you're Syrian Orthodox Christian or you're Anglican Seventh-day Adventist, or whether you're a Brahmo Samaji or whether you're anything, it doesn't matter. We're one. We're one energy. Let's play. And because of their purity and innocence, because their minds are so fresh and in touch with the creative spirit of life, there is creativity. If you ever want to get some new ideas, go to a little child and say, hey, buddy, can you help me figure out how to do this? The child will give you such piercing wisdom, such great clarity. And they haven't done PhDs, they haven't read books. It comes from the heart. It comes from a pure, unhindered, untutored creativity that comes blazing forth with such purity and innocence. So friends, I want you to understand this very, very important thing. The default condition of life is health, purity, joy, oneness, creativity, abundance. That is life in its purity, in its wholeness, as the universe is meant it to be. And then you might say, hello, then what happens and why is there all this suffering? This suffering happens because superimposed on this beauty and this grace and wholeness are impure thoughts. Are thoughts of restriction, thoughts of not okayness, thoughts of shaming myself, shaming other people. I'm not okay, others are not okay. And in fact, someone said to somebody, to a child, I'm not okay and you're not okay and that's okay. And one little child was asked, what's your name? He said, my name is Johnny Don't. So somebody said, hello, how come your name is Johnny Don't? He says, because no matter what I do, my parents say don't. I try to catch hold of the flower vase, don't. I try to jump on the sofa, don't. I try to run into the garden and play with mud, don't. So my name is Johnny Don't. Friends, we ourselves, through our unconsciousness, unmindfulness, have polluted the world through polluted thinking. And if there has to be a change, the change has to start with the purification of our thoughts. And luckily, there is a guidance. There's a beautiful source of guidance, which I'll come to, which can guide us towards these kind of thoughts. I just want you to remember one little metaphor, and that is the universe is an infinite field of possibility. Please remember this metaphor very, very carefully. The universe is a field of infinite possibility. And your thoughts are like seeds. You plant a beautiful seed and you will get beauty. You plant a poisonous seed, you'll get poison ivy or you'll get poisonous stuff. It's up to you. It's up to us, honestly. The choice is all ours. The universe has given you this huge field of possibility, but it is up for us to choose. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up our talk going further into three parts. Number one is happiness, because many of you have said, I'm depressed, I have mental health problems, and I'm feeling sad, and I'm suffering, I get bullied, and I feel isolated. So happiness. The second aspect many of you have talked about is health. How do I stay healthy? I mean, how do I get over these addictions? How do I get over this whole issue of body shaming? I mean, feeling bad about my body and then trying to do things to make myself good in the eyes of other people. And the third thing, friends, which many of you have mentioned is, what do I do about work? What do I do about employment? How do I get good work? So I will address each one of these. And as I was telling Sheena Thomas, I would love you to ask questions. I'm keeping a large chunk of time today for you to ask questions, to wholeheartedly ask questions, because I want this to be a heart-to-heart conversation. I want this to be an honest, open, authentic conversation, because I really love each one of you. You're sacred, you're amazing, you're divine, and that divinity is hiding in you like the sun behind clouds. If on a cloudy, rainy day, if you can't see the sun, that doesn't mean the sun has gone anywhere. No, it's just overshadowed with clouds. That's all. And like that, friends, don't worry about what's happening in the world or what's happening in your life. Remember, behind all the darkness of clouds, there is so much light shining, and it's coming out. I mean, in your intentions, in your choices, in your strengths, it's shining bright. Yeah. So coming back, I'd love you to ask questions. So when we come to question and answer in a short while, please do that. Okay. So let's start with happiness. Yeah. First thing to remember is happiness is not something that comes from outside. That if I have this object, or if I'm with this girl, or if I'm with that boy, or if he sends me some loving text messages, then I'll be happy. Otherwise, I'll be unhappy. I think that's one of the biggest lies that the entire media and the information industry is putting on us, that happiness and even health depends on things outside of you. That is not the case. Happiness is something that is the default condition of your life. But then you might say, oh, then what happens? And why is it that I don't experience it? Because, friends, like the clouds over the sun, the ego, which is made up of past memories and future thoughts, overshadows the beauty and grace of the present moment. So just remember this. The past is history. The future is a mystery. And this moment, this beautiful moment, is a gift from existence. And that's why it is called the present. It's called the present. I haven't invented this little thing. It comes from someone else, but I love this. Past is history, future's a mystery, and this beautiful sacred moment is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So this ego flies around on two wings, the past and the future. It flutters around all over the place, like the clouds. The clouds is nothing but ego. And as I said, the ego is nothing but guilt, regret. Oh, that day 4 years back I did this, so I must be very bad. Regrets, all kinds of regrets. If I had done this, or if I had done that, and that one did that to me, so I hold all that anger inside. I hold all that animosity inside, and my emotions are all worked up, and sadness and bitterness and non-forgiveness. Imagine if someone has done harm to me in the past, and I'm carrying a hot coal in my hand. I'm a live hot coal I'm carrying in my hand, and somebody says, Arun, why are you carrying this hot coal? It's burning your hand. No, I want to throw it on that other person because they did this to me in the past. Hello, just a minute. Your hand is getting burned. Drop it, forgive, drop it, clean it up, forget it. Similarly, tension about the future. What will happen to my work? Will I get a job or not? What will happen to the economy? Stress. What about my studies? If I don't get good marks, will I get a job? And all kinds of fear. Fear, what will happen to me? And fear ruins the immune system. It ruins my creativity, and I get stuck in that. Let me just give you a quick bit of good news quickly. Companies like Google and Tesla and Amazon do not care about your degrees. They don't care about your qualifications. They don't care what is on your certificate. They only see how skilled are you? How good are you at something? And for that, you don't need college for that. I mean, you can go to YouTube, you can sign up on Coursera or take free courses and get super good at it. And when you're super good at something, you're hired. If somebody comes to me, I have a plumbing problem in my home, and one fellow comes, PhD from Harvard on plumbing, and the other guy comes with extraordinary skill in plumbing, a good attitude of service, very, very quick, excellent service. Who will I go for? Will I go for that certificate, or will I go for the fellow who's got a good attitude and excellent service and who's giving me great plumbing? I'll go for that. So point I'm trying to make is unnecessary worry about the future is born of not really understanding things. And today, friends, it is such a beautiful time to be a young person, because you are entering a world where things are going to be very, very different. Leaders like you will be valued. People who are skilled will be valued. And you don't have to go to a big university for skills. You can pick the skills up from your friends, from the internet, from online courses. It is so beautiful right now. Yeah. So if you drop these two wings of the ego, if you remove these clouds that overshadow the beauty of the moment, then you're left with this sacred, wonderful now. And friends, this is where the divine creative intelligence of life that runs all of life is present in the now. It's not in the past, it's not in the future, it's not in the mind. It is in this moment, in the smell of the grass, in the taste of beautiful kheer in your mouth, in the sip of water, a little sip of warm water, it's present in that. In the breath you take, in every inflow and outflow of breathing, it is present. In the throbbing of your heart, it is present. Yeah. So this is where it is, and often we're not there. So the question is, if this is where it is, how can I get in touch with it? So the answer is, take time to be still. Take time to be still. People like Vijayam, myself, many of us, we regularly sit quietly and we are still. Now, if it's okay, Sheena, may I request Vijayam to speak about how this quiet time benefits you, madam? Would you unmute yourself and just share with
Sure,
us?
sure.
Yes, Vijayam, please Share with us, madam. How does quiet time help you?
Ma'am, it's muted. It's muted from your end.
So just unmute yourself, Vijay, and just briefly you can tell us, and I will also share.
And sir, are you moving your slides? Because the slides are not moving. You've not started moving your slides now?
No, I have reached the 10th or 15th slide actually, so I'm not sure what's happening because I'm
Okay.
on.
No, those slides are not
Okay,
moving. It goes
so
directly to the 15th slide.
okay,
Yeah.
so let me
This,
then
this
let
is the one. Practice quiet time. Yeah.
yeah. So I will operate in this mode then, and so
Yeah.
that you can see. So what I had
Yes.
actually done was I had shared many thoughts. I will just quickly go over them very very quickly, and then I'll come back to this side. So that leaders create new futures. You cannot have new leadership, new worlds if you don't change your thinking. That's where it starts. Great opportunity for young people, and the default condition of life in the now is joy, peace, oneness, creativity. And we're going to look at these three things: happiness, health, and work. Happiness. And the ego comes in the way of happiness. So, yeah, are you able to see these transitions now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll operate in this mode. So,
Yeah.
Vijay, madam, would you like to talk a bit about how it benefits you when you sit silently?
Yes, yes, Arun.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Vijay. Thank you so much. Yes.
thank you, Arun and Sheena, for mentioning me and inviting me to share.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I was keenly listening to Arun as usual.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you.
on listening to him. So,
Thank you.
how quiet time helps me? See,
Yes.
we all keep, our mind keeps rewinding, fast forwarding all the time. We say something, we get angry with somebody, and after some time, immediately we start rewinding. Oh, I didn't do that. Then start degrading oneself or thinking that I have done it right. But this sort of rewinding always used to happen, but it was for the first time when I met initiatives of change, I understood the significance of sitting quietly and listening to your thoughts, which is just opposite to mindfulness. When mindfulness meditation, we are observing our thoughts. Here, we are engaging with our thoughts. So when I sat down first time at Asia Plateau Panchkani, where China and many of our students had been there, first time, with myself all alone for 10 minutes, just listening to my inner voice, not that auto rewinding mode. I started seeing many more layers of my personality.
Yeah.
I could, think of all my actions, and then there's talk about these four absolute standards: purity, honesty, unselfishness, and love. I think that can be any of your values which you hold very close to your heart. It can be maybe compassion. So, when I started weighing my, past life, my present life, my actions, thoughts, and all against these four standards, I found that I was lacking in many aspects, and many times ego came in my way. So when I started sitting down quietly, listening to my inner voice, it gave me a lot of strength to stand up and say sorry. Before, it was so
Beautiful.
difficult to say sorry because the ego, I am the principal, I am the director, I am the trustee. How can I say sorry? The others are always to be blamed.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
at least
yeah,
it
yeah.
gave us that strength. Then second thing which I noticed was I saw the facades falling off. I even now I sometimes feel I have some facade, but those days it was too many. I feel, and then the facade of being the right, being the principal, being always right, etc., etc. So slowly that also started falling off, and I started understanding myself better. So this is sort of cleansing our mind, according to me, every day cleaning
Beautiful.
our mind. Still the dirt occurs. You read
Yeah.
so much, listen to so many people, you hear so many negative things. So like on the mirror, the dust settles in my mind too. But then
Beautiful.
for every day cleansing helps me to stay focused. It reminds me, what is my passion, what is my intention in life, and it helps me to walk that journey, walk that.
Beautiful,
Thank
beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Vijayam. So wonderful. Thank you so much. So, as Vijayam Madam said, we are running an autopilot. We don't examine our thoughts, we don't examine our feelings, our assumptions. But for me, just like Vijayam, the quiet time is a beautiful time to step back and say, okay, what is happening? What are my assumptions? What are my thoughts? What is happening? And the more get into quiet time, the more peaceful I feel, the happier I feel so much peaceful because I come closer to the space of beauty and love and compassion which is beyond the mind. I think it kind of puts me in touch with a very, very peaceful place, a place of silence, a place of purity, a place of joy, of unity, a very juicy place, if I can use the word, which is none other than my innermost I am, my innermost self, beyond the mind, beyond the ego. So I think, friends, one of the royal roads to happiness is to take time to pause, take time to be still, and get in touch, plug into the amazing juice of reality, amazing juice that underlies all of reality. Whether it's in a child or in a tree or in a dog or somewhere, it's that beautiful field of infinite silence, infinite peace, infinite purity, infinite truth, and infinite compassion. And getting in touch with that is like plugging into a powerhouse of energy and joy every day in the morning. Now, I'm sure you all charge your phones. I'm sure about that. The point is, do you charge your body mind? Do you charge your mind? Do you purify the mind? As Vijayam said, do you clean away the dust? Right? So take time to be still, take time to purify purify the mind. Okay, the other aspect is again coming back to the mind, and because that is the source of happiness. What are you seeing? Are you seeing a duck or a rabbit? Now, many of you will say it's a duck because looking at it from this side, it's a duck. Looking at it from the other side, it is a rabbit. And if you see the duck, you cannot see the rabbit. And if you see the rabbit, you cannot see the duck. So remember, friends, at any point in time, you can focus only on one thing at a time. Just remember this. You can either focus on what is going well with the world, you can focus on what is going right with things, you can focus on your strengths, you can focus on what is good about me, what is good about other people, appreciation and gratitude, or you can focus on things that are going wrong. These days, I do not watch the news. I do not watch the news because all I hear on the news is fear, frightening statistics, all kinds of stuff. Rather, let me serve my people, let me serve myself and my family and keep our immunity high, exercise, remember the divine creative intelligence that runs all of life, and so on. Now, one of the things here, I just want to tell you a little story. There was a young boy asked his father, this is a North American story, Native American story. And the boy said, Father, there are two wolves in my mind. One is the evil wolf and always thinking about negativity and violence and making all kinds of mistakes. And the other one is a good wolf. Which wolf will win this war? Which wolf will win the war? The little child is asking his father. And the father replied beautifully. He said, child, the one you feed. That wolf will win, the one you feed. And friends, This is very, very important. Attention is the food of thoughts. You give attention to negativity, you give attention to negative thoughts, to self-demeaning thoughts, belittling thoughts, and they'll keep growing because you're feeding that wolf. And you put attention on thoughts of joy, of happiness, of kindness, of helping others, making a difference, that wolf will grow. So remember, the choice is yours. Duck or rabbit, choice is yours. Somebody had a little butterfly in his hand and he asked somebody, is it dead or alive? And the trick was, if he says dead, he'll open it and the butterfly will go off. And if he says alive, he'll just squeeze the head and kill it and say, see, dead. So he says dead or alive. The other person answered, the choice is yours. And that's exactly how it is in life. The choice is really in our hands. A record has a certain negative track on it, okay? I mean, there's some music on it. It could be good music, bad music, but it plays the moment you put the needle on the record, it'll start playing that music. That needle, friends, is attention. Do I focus on blame, pointing fingers at other people and saying, this is not okay, that's not okay, I am not okay, others are not okay, the government is not okay, the world is not okay? Or do I focus on appreciation and gratitude? You know, everything has a silver lining. The reason why there's a silver lining behind the clouds is because there's the sun behind the clouds. Like that, even now, there is a beautiful sun behind the clouds of COVID and all this disruption. And the way to find that sun is appreciation and gratitude. Friends, believe me, one of the biggest shifters of attention and energy and emotion in the mind is to practice the art of gratitude and appreciation all the time. And Ag incidentally is silver. You know, those of you who have done chemistry in school, Ag is silver, and that's why you have a silver lining. So remember, the appreciation and gratitude reminds you that there's a beautiful thing behind the clouds. There's a beautiful default condition behind the clouds. There's a universal intelligence. I mean, you can call it Allah or Holy Spirit or Brahman or God or Almighty. It doesn't matter. It's like, I can call this water or Wasser or Pani or Tanni or Neer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's water and I've got to drink it. So like that love, that compassion, that care is there, ever present. But practice the art of appreciation and gratitude, and you can do that right now. You can do that right now. So that is one. And again, linked to this, I was so happy to see that when I asked you in the questionnaire, about 63 of you answered that. You said, I said, what can you do to change the world? And many of you said kindness. Now, kindness is such a beautiful thing. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. That's what the holy Dalai Lama says. He says, do acts of kindness. When you care for a little dog, when you care for somebody, you cook a meal for somebody who's sick, you help people, you feel happy. You feel happy. And the opposite of that is only thinking of myself, only thinking of me and myself and what are others doing for me and so on and so forth. And that gets me into a downward spiral of sadness and depression and isolation. Because the moment you act with kindness, you're reaching out to another human being. You're touching their heart. You're making a connection with humanity, your own humanity and the humanity of other people. So it's a beautiful way to stay happy. Appreciation and gratitude and acts of kindness. And it could be random acts of kindness. You don't have to, you could buy coffee for someone else, free. No problem. Just buy some coffee for them. Or give a banana to a little child or do something. I'm sure we do it. It's not as if this is new. But think of the joy and happiness that you get when you do this. So do more of that. And also don't forget the animals. I think animals deserve our compassion as much as others do. Our dogs, the cats, the cows, all of them are part of this wonderful creation that we have. and they deserve your compassion, they deserve your love. And believe me, this simple act of compassion increases certain chemicals in your blood. Your dopamine goes up, your oxytocin goes up, your serotonin goes up, your endorphins goes up. So compassion is not, oh, airy-fairy stuff, it's all idealism. No, your physical body chemicals begin to change. DOSC, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphin. So that dose automatically goes up when you laugh and you smile when you're loving towards another human being. Finally, friends, I think I have found great peace in two thoughts. And that is, the Creator knows how to take care of His creation. Take care of the present, the future will take care of itself. I think trusting that a larger intelligence is running life, and that all that happens in your life personally or in our collective life, are simply methods to teach us love, teach us compassion, teach us consciousness, teach us to be quiet, teach us to be kind. And so it's beautiful. It's a beautiful learning experience for all of us. And that all that happens for the good. Everything will strengthen me. One of my mentors, Swami Bhumananda Tirtha, who lives near Thrissur in Kerala, he's been my mentor for almost 35, 40 years. He kept telling me when I was a young man, he kept telling me, Arun, tell yourself, everything will strengthen me. Everything will make me stronger. Everything has been sent to enrich me. And believe me, friends, this has helped me. And knowing that there's a creator, knowing there's a larger plan for my life, a larger divine arrangement that's unfolding, is really what it's about. And if you don't like the word divine or God, well, creative intelligence, the one that makes Fibonacci series out of the way shells are made, or in flower petals, or in clouds, or fractals. I mean, that creative intelligence which runs all of life is taking care of you, don't worry. Another beautiful thought which helped me a lot in my life is, God is love, creative intelligence is love, the default condition is love, and His plan, his or her plan, I would prefer her plan for creation can be rooted only in love. So remember this, you're not just like I'm all alone in the universe, no one knows. Hello, just a minute. The divine source looks after you, loves you. Listen to it, as Vijay Madam said. Pause, take time to listen, and you will find that things work out. Yeah. And also what happens is you feel a juiciness in your life when you start connecting with this inner power. A juiciness, an aliveness, an enthusiasm, a mojo. I don't know how to. Enthusiasm is probably the nearest when you start connecting with this juice of the inner self. And friends, that has a huge impact on health. That affects your health. Now, I have to show this in the other mode. So let me see if I can, at least for one slide, let me try to see if I can go in the other mode. Okay, doesn't matter. Let me continue. So many of you have mentioned body shaming. Yeah, so for a moment, let's go under the water. We're going into the ocean, deep ocean. So in the deep ocean, I see creatures like this, with one eye here and 8, 9 limbs and beautiful devices to float around in the sea. And this is a living creature. This is not a piece of weed. This is a living creature, a seahorse. Hang on, sorry. Jump, jump, jump. Just a moment. Yeah. So here we are. Right? So this is a seahorse. But if I think that everybody should be like the supermodel, what's the danger? The seahorse starts thinking, oh, why am I not looking like the supermodel? Why is my hair not so silky? Hello, I don't have hair. I've got these little plant-like structures. And the other fellow says, I don't have hair. I don't have anything. I've got limbs. Friends, each one of us is unique. If you go around the world and you look at the beautiful tribes, and a person called Johnny Osborne has taken these pictures, beautiful look at different tribes, different cultures, so different, so unique, all part of the larger plan of the cosmos, larger plan of life, as I am, as you are, and all of us are unique. So, can I honor myself? Can I love myself? And can I remember that I am amazing as I am? I am amazing as I am. Because struggling with yourself, trying to be something that I'm not, creates unnecessary stress, unnecessary tension. It makes us inauthentic. It makes us unreal. Why should I be that? I mean, God has made me like this, and I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm perfectly okay as I am because I'm amazing. I'm unique. There's no one else like me. And that applies to each one of us here. So remember this. This is also a good starting point for health, for yourself, and for other people, teaching them that, reminding them that they're wonderful as they are. And talking of health, here is the answer to good health. A group in Pune called Medicine Free Life teaches this. And they say the answer to health, ANSWER, is air. Fresh air. Breathe a lot of fresh air. Do a lot of deep breathing. Nutrition. Eat non-processed, healthy, whole, organic food like your grandmother would make in the village. Like in the South India, they make moringa. Okay, so eat more moringa. Eat stuff, makki ki roti, sarson ka saag with ghee on top of it, butter on top of it. Have nice, wholesome food. And drop the processed stuff with chemicals inside and pesticides, drop that. Sunlight, bigly neglected, hugely neglected. Be in the sun, vitamin D3, hugely important for us. Water, lots of water, alkaline water, exercise and rest. Get good rest. Relax for about 7, 8 hours. Read. Now you'll say, hey, but what about our studies? What about this? No problem. If you listen to inner guidance, believe me, God will show you a way of how to deal with that. Okay. And coming to finally the work part, I think the biggest problem with work is how we define success. Today we define success in a way that is contracting. It leads to contraction. I have to get stuck, boxed into a certain pattern of thinking, pattern of being, pattern of doing, and that's successful and again creates stress because I go away from my natural nature. Control because there is not enough, and so I have to control people, otherwise there's insecurity and fear and a lot of constraints. This is the kind of success, rampant chasing of material success, unidimensional success, limited success that has got us to where we are today, to the crisis that we're in. So what is there a better way to define success? There is. Joy. When I'm in touch with compassion, when I'm caring for my body, caring for my mind, choosing thoughts that give me happiness, I'm in touch with the compassion in my heart. So that is one connection. Second one is when I'm in touch with other people, being kind to them, caring towards them, there is peace. And when I'm caring towards nature, Mother Nature, who's giving us so much free sunlight, free oxygen, soil is free, the rooftop, you can grow vegetables on the rooftop, you can do miracles with nature without even a single penny being spent. So when I'm in touch with all three, joy, peace, and abundance, that's true success. Happiness, health, abundance, peace, joy. This is true success. And if it isn't joyful, you're out of touch with compassion. If it is not peaceful, you're out of touch. If you're mucking up the environment, sorry, that's not success. Right? So this is the way true success is. And based on that, how do I practically move forward? Look at my strengths. I think the greatest success of this kind comes when I'm working from my strengths. When each one of us is bring our unique strengths to the table. And we are competing with, not competing with each other, we are completing each other. We're not fighting with each other. Oh, I want to be better than you. No, hello, you're unique. That other girl is unique. This one is unique. All of us are unique. We complete each other. And what's the way to do that practically? Sit in a circle. Talk about it with your friends. Have conversations. Have conversations to share your gifts, share your perspectives, to link with each other, listen to each other, learn, leverage each other's strengths, be loving towards each other, and you find that abundance will come very naturally. And that's the only difference between compete and complete, by the way. There's only one letter, which is L, and that L can make all the difference. And the other thing I just want to leave you with, as far as work is concerned, is one of the most powerful devices you have, which is creativity. Think in new ways. Think creatively to create a new vision for your life. Create new inspirations for your life. Start something that gives jobs to 4 people. There is a group called GAME, G-A-M-E. They're trying to massificate, they're trying to do the massification of entrepreneurship. Find out what they're doing. How can I become an entrepreneur? And you don't have to be a Aditya Birla or a Ratan Tata to be an entrepreneur. You can start a little outfit, small little outfit. There's so many people. I mean, there's a guy called Swati Bondia who in Bangalore, she listened to her inner guidance and she saw these beggars on the road and she said, what do I do about all this? And then she found they had a gift. They could make craft. They could do things with candles and all that. And she got them going, started getting them to create craft work, and is selling that in New York, selling that online, and helping these young beggars, so-called beggars, to make such a beautiful living. And she's very, very happy, extremely happy lady. I just spoke to her a few days back. Full of joy, full of compassion, and giving so much joy to other people. Now you are young, you have tremendous possibility, and believe me, the world is infinite possibilities. And don't get stuck with a certain image of yourself. Yeah, just remember, service is the secret of success. You provide good service, success will follow. And my favorite metaphor is be flexible, be like a joker. Don't get stuck. Oh, I'm only hearts, or I'm spades, I'm club. No, let me bring my strengths forward, but can I be flexible? Can I be creative? I'll tell you a little story quickly, and then we'll get into question and answer. So Vijayam and I were part of a group, are part of a group called Education Today Society Tomorrow. Last year, exactly a year back, we had a conference, online conference, which normally we used to have in Panchgani, but this time we had it online. And about 110 teachers from 12 countries, including Pakistan and Sweden and Canada, and all came together. We had a very, very beautiful time. And the people who helped us to make it happen was this group of school children. They were in class 10, class 11, but so good with the technology, so good, so sincere, that they made it happen. Right? We call them the tech team. And when the principals and teachers and adults in the group learned that the children they teach made it happen, they were so happy about that. They said, yes, these are the youngsters of the future. These are the leaders of the future. So I'm saying you have great potential, just bring it forward. And opportunities are endless. Like, for example, hunger and malnutrition kill 820 children every day. 3 lakh children die in India because of hunger and malnutrition. And this is the same country where 40% of the food we produce is wasted. That's as much food as Britain consumes in the whole year. 92,000 crores of food. Can we do something about it? Can we make a difference? Yeah. So friends, it's about change. I think it's about, can I listen to guidance? Can I make the right choices? Can I think in creative ways, in positive ways, ways that empower me and make the change that is required? And of course, when we ask people who wants change, everyone's hand goes up. But then when we say who wants to change, then things become a little bit not so enthusiastic. So to conclude my thing before we come to question and answer, I think we have to start with ourselves. We've got to start with ourselves. I've got to start changing my thinking. I've got to start connecting with the powerhouse of compassion, which is in my heart. That light that shines eternally in my heart, never goes off. And take some risks, come out of my comfort zone, do something unusual, scary, and awkward, and try something new, listening to guidance. Because guidance, incidentally, tuition is when someone is teaching you from outside is tuition. But when someone is the divine guru or the sacred guru of your own heart is teaching you from inside, that is intuition. Tuition from outside and intuition from inside, inner guidance. And it's, believe me, always there, that sacred light is there. So take some risks, do some joyful action now. And finally, remember there are many, many Jugnus in the world. A Jugnu is, and let me tell you the story of the imaginal cells. Whenever the caterpillar is trying to become a butterfly, there are many, many cells, butterfly cells inside the caterpillar, but it kills them. It thinks there's some foreign cells. But then the imaginal cells start clumping and clustering, and then slowly they metamorphose into a butterfly. So like that, friends, there are many, many wonderful Jugnus like Vijayam, Sheena, like many of you who are willing to do good things. Clump and cluster with them, sit with them, talk to them. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock, in fact, I'll send the link to Sheena, Arun Maira, who was in the planning commission. We're going to have a chat about 1 billion fireflies rising. So if any of you are interested, I'll send the link to Sheena and to Vijayam, and she can pass it on to you. Because the world is full of good people. Now, Pakistan, the so-called enemy, is full of lovely children. And when we got children from schools in Pune to talk to children in Karachi, they said, my God, I mean, you guys are just like us. And the Pakistani children said, today we're going to celebrate by going and buying sweets at Bombay Sweets and Delhi Sweets. The best sweet stops in Karachi are called Bombay Sweets and Delhi Sweets. And the Pune children said, you know what? We have 11 Karachi sweets in Pune. The point I'm trying to make is, deep down, these innocent children in Karachi, these innocent children in Pune or Delhi or Baroda or anywhere are so pure-hearted. Let's connect bridges of compassion. Incidentally, we're taking this process of collaborating for compassion to many, many schools. Recently, a school in Hosur, Tamil Nadu, started speaking to a school in Kashmir, and they were thrilled. So look out for the Jugnus. First, be a Jugnu yourself. Look out for the Jugnus. And India, believe me, can be a lighthouse for the world. We can show the world what it means to live a life anchored in the compassion and love of the heart, anchored in the grace and purity and honesty and unselfishness of the Almighty, who's ever present. Zarre zarre mein usi ka noor hai. Jaank khud mein wo na tujhse dur hai. Ismein, usmein, sab mein hai wahi. Yaar mera sab jagah bharpoor hai. Everywhere the beauty and grace is there. So look for Jugnus, look for people who have that spark in them. Yeah, and if you can start with BSSS, your lovely college, you can show the rest of India how it works. And we are happy to serve you, happy to do whatever it takes to get the Jugnus to organize and do great things together. And I can share more on that some other time. So, friends, to conclude, question before you. Will you lead with compassion? Will you lead with the clarity, the conviction and courage that comes from the heart, that comes from listening to the inner voice? Would you be the person who says, if it is to be, it is up to me? Who says that India begins with I? The first letter in the word India is I. India begins with I. As I am, so is India. if I am joyful and energetic and kind and compassionate and full of that energy and juice and vitality of the life force in me, and I start doing acts of kindness, acts of creativity, acts of positive actions, starting by changing my thinking, I will set an example for hundreds to follow. And this coronavirus, which has swept the world, will be replaced by the Karuna virus. Karuna is compassion in Sanskrit. The virus of love, the virus of love in loving action, the virus of love in full expression, which is what life is. Yeah, so this is my dream, and I'm sure this is our dream, because who doesn't want to have a more joyful, healthy, abundant life? I think we all do. So, friends, I will conclude here and invite questions now. I will stop sharing. And big thank you once again to your lovely institution, to Sheena, to Vijayam, to Dr. Father John, and to each one of you for your patient listening. I really salute your capacity to listen, and I now gratefully invite questions which we can respond to. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you from my heart.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Actually, like you said, we need the Karuna virus, and the Karuna to beat the Corona. And that was so rightfully put by you.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, sir.
Thank
And
you.
here
Yes,
we
please.
have students. Anybody would
Sure.
like to unmute and ask question? Please go ahead,
Yes,
or you can
yes.
put it up in the chat box if
Either
you're
way.
unwilling. So I'll take that up. But
I would
you,
like to question.
Sure,
yes,
Manohar
Manohar,
Rao.
please go ahead.
Sure. Lovely to see you. You have a lovely smile, Manohar.
Thank you
Excellent.
so much.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
So you had a slide appreciation and gratitude.
Yes, sir.
So before asking a question, I appreciate and have gratitude that you taught us so much. And
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
lovely listening
Yeah,
you. So
yeah.
my question is, so if you are pure from inside and your thoughts are pure and whatever you want to convey to somebody, they're like all pure. Does it really matter that how you look, what are you wearing, or where you are standing? XYZ. I mean, does it really matter?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And let me just say two things. It doesn't matter at all. You could be, I mean, you're just being natural. I've seen Nobel Peace Prize winners, Kailash Satyarthi, Dalai Lama, simple dresses, simple thing, no great suits, with simple khadi things. Well, so, and then you forget about what they're wearing, because their aura, their energy, their integrity, their authenticity, their love is so strong that you forget about what they're wearing. Having said that, it doesn't matter really. So you're right, Manohar. And in some roles, you have to wear something. Like, for example, if I'm working as a banquets manager in Taj, because of the system I've chosen to be in, I have to dress up in a certain way. I have to wear a suit, a tie. It's part of the role. Yeah. But it doesn't define me. I'm defined by my connection to the divine core. I'm defined by my values. I'm defined by my thoughts and my who I really am. Yeah. And for a certain role, I'm wearing a certain thing. That's it. But let's not put too much attention. But what happens right now, unfortunately, is we begin to value a person based on what are they wearing. We don't look at their character. We say, what's the label? Oh, is that Armani? Is that a Louis Vuitton bag? Please, that is superficial. I don't know if I've answered your question.
You did a lot of it, because see, I'm so sorry to say, but then even you were using a background changing app, and which was eating your some of the body parts a lot, so it was very distracting. So
I
is this
understand.
part of you? Because like you said, if profession,
Beautiful.
because
No, beautiful. Yeah.
there's all these things that's why you
Yeah.
have
No,
this.
no. I use the background of a beautiful sky and all that, because I found that it resonated with what I'm talking about. If you notice in my presentation also, there was a slide of a sky.
Yes.
So I think it's really about reminding us that it's about the openness of the heart, the sky-like expanse of the heart. And that's why I chose this background, not because I wanted to look good in the eyes of other people. And friends, I'm so glad you asked this question. Whenever you want to remember that creative intelligence, just look up at the sky. Look up at the sky. The sky is there. No, if there's a traffic jam in the road, it doesn't matter. It's peacefully there. If the traffic is cleared up, it's there. So that sky of consciousness, that sky of awareness, the sky of divine presence is really the purity of the heart. And so look up at the sky. Does it bother black cloud aya, white cloud aya? It doesn't matter. Many clouds come, okay, they'll go away. Yeah. Sky is just there present. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, Manohar. Thank you.
I'm sorry if I have another question, if you can answer that.
Yeah, but briefly, because I want others to also ask, but yes, I'll respond. Yes, go ahead, Manohar.
So this is a very normal life instant that, see, it's said you can learn from anywhere, anyone, whether it be a younger or older one.
Yes.
So, like when like many of our youngsters have felt that, you know, learning from a junior or from the younger one gives a little ego issues. You know, we tend to say,
Exactly.
So how to cope up with that? Just a small question.
I think if you just remember that learning and humility are linked to each other. If I just say I open my heart to learning from a rose or a daisy, like for example, a daisy, if I have to say I submit to a daisy in the garden and I said, Daisy, what are you teaching? She says, when the sun comes out, it opens up like that. And when it's cold, it closes down. So it's choosing to open its heart towards sunlight and closing towards negativity and things like that. So the daisy is teaching me, open your heart to noble thoughts, open your heart to God, open your heart to the divine presence, and close your heart to negativity and stuff that keeps. So daisy can teach me, but I think, Manohar, if you understand the importance of learning and you understand that anyone can teach you and you go in with humility, which is a decision, Manohar, remember, it's a choice you make. So it's in your hands.
What if the younger one is me and I'm trying to teach something to the elder one and I know it's right and he might be wrong somewhere, and when he says that you are not the right age to teach me or something, how to tackle with that?
So again, I'll go back to Dalai Lama. He says that tackle people with affection. Tap not with your ego that, oh, how can he not say if you're stuck in ego, as Vijayam said, then you're not going to get anywhere. But if you tackle it with compassion, with love, with patience, setting an example. If he didn't understand today, try again tomorrow, try when he's in a better mood, set an example, demonstrate it, find creative ways, and you will find a way. Okay?
Perfect.
Super. Perfect. Any other questions? Thanks, Manohar. Any other questions?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, madam. And Shweta, tell us.
It was wonderful to hear all these things from you, sir.
Yes,
sir, I
Shweta.
want to ask, is child born with caring personality or compassion, or it is learned?
Okay. So, as I said earlier, a child is born with compassion. Our default condition is compassion. Our default condition is compassion. That means child is born with compassion, is born with generosity. Even animals. The other day I saw a picture of a duck picking up some feed and feeding fish. Picking up feed with a beak and feeding fish who are waiting for them. So I think compassion is who we really are at our core. But what happens is, like the sun gets overshadowed by conditioning and negativity and negative thoughts, slowly that beautiful core of compassion then begins to get overshadowed. So Shweta, a child is born with compassion. If he or she is lucky to grow up in a pure environment of positivity and nourishment, that compassion shines. Like, for example, many schools like Education for Life or many of the schools that Vijayam was principal of, compassion keeps shining and growing. But if it's ruined by negative thinking, improper conditioning, negative conditioning, then it appears to have vanished, but actually it has not vanished. It's there, it's overshadowed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, let's have some more questions. I'm loving these questions.
So there's a
And
question in the chat box by Megha. She goes on
yes,
to ask how to concentrate on one thing. I thought this is a very apt question
sure,
which bothers the youngsters these days.
very
How to
true.
concentrate on one thing.
Beautiful. So let me give you a metaphor here. So if you have many bees in the room, they're running around all over in the room, and I try to shut the windows, shut the doors, and I try to keep them inside. It's very, very tough for me to keep the bees inside the room. So like that, when I try to tame the mind which is running all over the place and say, concentrate, concentrate, you've got to concentrate, it's running all over the place. The first place it runs to is this. Let's see what's happening on WhatsApp. Let's see what's going on in my chat box. Let's see which game is on, right? And the reason why it does that is because the mind is looking for happiness. The mind is looking for joy and peace. Now, coming back to the room, if I put a pot of honey on the table, all the bees, everyone will come and converge onto the pot of honey. They will have no problem going here, there, anywhere. Exactly in the same way, if I can connect the mind to the juiciness and peace and silence and joy and freedom of the heart, the mind becomes very, very, very calm and peaceful. Then I say, okay, mind, focus on finishing this. No problem, finished. Now mind, focus on this. So the mind becomes a slave of your consciousness, a slave of your larger understanding. And then it's easy to put the mind on this, put the mind on that, because the mind is experiencing a lot of joy. There's no restlessness. But if there's no joy, then I start flitting from thing to thing to get joy. It could be addiction to this, cyber addiction, looking for joy. It could be to alcohol, looking for joy. It could be drugs, looking for joy. It could be relationships, looking for joy, not finding, oh, this girl is not good enough. She doesn't have this. Let's take another one and no joy. Then, okay, let's try alcohol. No joy, drugs, no alcohol. Okay, let's try PUBG or some game. No happiness, because we have forgotten that the source and the only source of lasting happiness is in the silence of the heart. And that's why I go back to what Vijay Madam said, take time to be still. And not only take time to be still, if you don't like that kind of thing, well, go out and do some kind acts. Go and exercise, go and run for 15, 20 kilometers. And when you sit after that, you will feel extremely calm, extremely peaceful, extremely happy. And then your mind becomes your slave. Today, for many of us, the mind is our master. And because we have lost touch with the heart, we have lost touch with the silence of the heart. So answer in a summary form is connect back to the joy, peace, and silence of the heart, and your mind will slowly become very, very, very much under your control. Under your control means it will do what you want it to do, because it's experiencing so much joy. It's not running around here, there. Poor thing, looking for happiness in all kinds of things, in the wrong places. Wrong places means deluded places, thinking that drugs or alcohol or PUBG or games or internet or relationships will give me happiness. It can't, it doesn't, and you all know that because you've gone through it. I have gone through it. I'm not sitting from a pedestal. I have done marijuana, I have done relationships, I've gone through that whole mill, and I know that it's not lasting. It's transient, it's all fake. The real peace and the real joy comes from the heart, and connect with that. Okay? Yes.
Very
Next.
rightly said. Very rightly said. So I truly echo the same voice. It's only in the stillness of time and life you will find answers to your questions. Another
Absolutely. Yes.
Another very beautiful question asked by Akanksha Verma, which is a problem of many others, and she goes on to ask is how to overcome overthinking. how to overcome
Aha,
overthinking.
beautiful. So, first thing is, incidentally, Akanksha and everyone else, Aman, Akanksha, Suchita, Vandana, all of you, I just want to share one thing. A very, very powerful way to shift your thinking is to use affirmations. Affirmation. Now, what is an affirmation? I reminded you that the universe is like a beautiful field, a very, very fertile field. Whatever you sow in it, it will come out. Right? The universe is an amen machine. It says amen. You say, okay, this, I want this, amen. Or tathastu. Tathastu means, okay, so it is now. Or amin. It's an amin machine, amen machine. Now, when you plant an affirmation into this beautiful field of silence and you say, my mind thinks thoughts which are economical, which are focused on what I want, and that is how it is. Yeah, you say my mind is under my control, my mind is connected to source, my mind is connected to the divine core, and is a beautiful slave of what my heart is saying, of my what my heart wants. And I keep saying that, and I keep sitting silently. Within a week, you will find that your mind overthinking comes down. And the other thing which I mentioned earlier is be in the present. When you're having your food, chew your food till it's a liquid. Smell the food, see the colors of the food, go into the garden and see the flowers, or go out for a walk, observe what is happening, be in the now, because the mind is happening because of the past or the future. Remember the bird of the mind, past and future. And no mind means present. So come into the present by paying attention to what is happening now. In Kashmir, where I'm sitting right now, a blessing that an elder puts onto a young person or a child or someone is Mojud Rose. It's a blessing. And it simply means in two words, be present. Mojud Raho. Be present. And it's such a big blessing because when I'm present to the beauty of life, I'm present to the feelings of other people, I'm present to the needs of other people, I'm present to opportunities, I'm present to life in its fullness. Otherwise, I'm somewhere else. Now, Shweta, someone else had a question. I think you raised your hand.
Akash, you want to take a question? Akash, your hands were raised.
Yeah,
Akash,
Akash, Nishu, Shweta
Alfia.
have raised hand. Diksha has raised her hand. Shikha Singh has left. Okay. Yeah. So please, Diksha, you want to go, and then Shweta, and then others. Please go ahead. Diksha, would you like to
Yes,
go in first? Or, yeah, whoever. Nakul. Okay, go ahead, Nakul. Yes,
Srini sir.
Nakul. Yes, sir.
So I'm Nakul Kaushal from BSS.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome. Your
I
question
have a
is most,
question for you.
yeah, sure, sure. Welcome. Yes, please.
So there is a interview of Shah Rukh Khan where he says that there is no something like sleep, relaxed mind or relaxed life. So you have to always struggle in your life and always do something productive every day. So
Okay.
what your thought about it? We have to do like this all over
No,
the life.
so my thing is that firstly, remember this, whatever seed you sow in your life, this is a very, very important point. Please understand this clearly. Whatever thought seeds you sow in your mind, in the realm of your consciousness, that is what will happen in your life. So if Shah Rukh Khan tells himself that I have to struggle, I don't have to rest, life is a struggle, life is a big struggle, and I can't rest, and that's what it is. He's sowing those seeds in his mind. Life says Amin. Life says Tathastu. And Shah Rukh Khan's life will be exactly a mirror of his thinking. Now, if Nakul Kaushal wants that kind of life, then you use the same thoughts as Shah Rukh Khan, and you will get the same kind of life, struggling and fame and do blah, 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 whatever. If you want that, it's your choice, Nakul. But if Nakul Kaushal says that with the grace of my innermost essence, by using my gifts, working collaboratively with other people, working creatively and being open to the creative intelligence of life, I will lead a life of abundance, joy, peace, and happiness, where I can go for treks, I can spend time with my friends, I can do great work, great service, and earn a lot of money. Nakul, life will say Tathastu. Life will say Amen. Amen. So it's up to you. If you are sowing seeds of corn, then don't tell me later on, अरे sir, अनार नहीं मिल रहे हैं, अनार नहीं मिल रहे हैं. अरे अनार कहाँ से मिलेंगे? आप मक्की के बीज बो रहे हो, ऐसे थॉट्स आप डिवाइन यूनिवर्स में डाल रहे हो, तो मक्की कहाँ से आपको मक्की मिलेगा ना? That's what you're doing. I'll give you another example, Nakul. If I have a radio with me, small radio, and I tune it into Vivid Bharati, I turn it and tune it to Vivid Bharati. Which station will I get? I'll get Vivid Bharati, na? I can't get BBC. But if I want BBC, Nakul, I have to start tuning it towards BBC. So Nakul, I say exactly what I said in my presentation. The choice is yours. And have faith and confidence in yourself that persistently held thoughts, pure thoughts coming from a deep space of love and compassion, love for yourself, love for other people, and love for the environment will manifest. Inshallah, it will happen. Tathastu, it will happen. Believe me, it happens. And I'm going to request Sheena to get hold of this book called The Hidden Power. It's called Hidden Power. Sheena,
Okay.
it's disappearing right now. I'm disappearing and the book is disappearing. But
Sure.
I'm going to send you this, and I'll send you a few things which kindly, whoever has signed up,
Sure.
please circulate it to them,
Sure. Sure.
and you can benefit from it. Nakul, so
Definitely.
choice is yours. See, whatever you have written, Nakul, up till now in the book of your life, nobody can change that. Nobody can change that, and be grateful for whatever you have done, whatever has happened, because you learned. But remember, Nakul and everyone else, ahead of you are blank white pages. And the pen is in your hands. The pen is in your hands. What is the story you want to write? What kind of thoughts do you want to write? What kind of life do you want to create? Believe me, Nakul, it's in your hands. Like, for example, can you start exercising today? Can you start changing your thought? Can you have clear goals of what you want? Can you stop having food that is harmful for your body? Can you stop drinking things that are harmful for your body, etc., etc.? Yeah. All good wishes to you, Nakul, and everyone else. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you so
Shweta.
much, sir. It was so reassuring to hear it
Yeah,
from you.
thank you,
Akash,
Shweta.
I could see
Yeah,
your hand,
Akash,
Akash.
Shweta, Akash and Shweta. And Diksha also had. Diksha, we're waiting for you.
Okay. Alfia, meanwhile, you can take up your question.
Yes,
Alfia,
ma'am.
yeah.
Good
Yes.
And
afternoon,
then
sir.
Nishu.
Good
So my name is
afternoon,
Alfia Bakshi.
Alfia. Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. My question was that how can a person stay motivated despite of a lot of self-doubts that people come and face with either due to internal reasons or due to external factors.
Sure,
What is
sure,
that one thing that you would suggest that
sure.
we can practice?
Sure. So one thing, Alfia, two things. I will just tell you two things that put you in touch with this supreme confidence. One is to regularly be in touch with the innermost essence, your innermost core. And the innermost core is that sun of infinite joy and unity and peace and abundance. It is so beautiful. I mean, in the COVID times, many, many times I've caught myself saying, thank God for God, thank God for God. I mean, it's such an anchor, such a powerful source of joy and confidence and clarity. So that's one, be in touch with that, which means pause, be quiet, listen, be mindful, meditate, yeah, all that stuff. One. Second thing is appreciate your strengths. Make a list, Alfia, of all your strengths. All your strengths. What are you good at? Be unabashedly generous in talking about your strengths. Express gratitude for everything in your life. Every single thing in your life, express gratitude. So when you develop these habits of gratitude, of appreciation, and use affirmations, and I will, with all of you, I will request you to take a pledge with me in a few minutes. But when you use affirmations which strengthen you, you feel a sense of unconditional okayness. Unconditional okayness. Now, tell me, Alfia, if a rosebud is like this, is that a bad rosebud? It's a little rosebud.
No, it's
It's
just
not.
a rosebud,
It's
yes.
a rosebud. It's a perfect rosebud, and then in the sunshine, it opens up, becomes slightly bigger, and
Yes.
it's developing, and so on. So, Alfia, you are perfect as you are, and you're unfolding perfection. You're perfection in progress. So, if you tell myself, by the grace of the universe, I am unconditionally okay. I am perfection in progress. I will grow. Of course, I'll grow. The rosebud has to become a rose. Alfia Bakshi has to unfold her fullest powers. No problem at all. Yes, big yes to that. And I am unconditionally okay. So these three things, using thoughts and regular meditation, regular connection with the silent source inside, these things will give you clarity, conviction, confidence, courage, and unshakable confidence. And now, what other people are saying, how does it matter? Your inner guide is saying the truth. Outside, anyone can say anything. Yeah, I'm not saying don't
Yes, sir.
listen to people. Listen to people, get feedback, process it in the way you can, but let the anchor of your confidence and okayness be within yourself. Not in your dress, not in the makeup, not in the bags I'm carrying, but in the surety of your heart, in the silent surety of your own inner connection to life, to love in full expression.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. So we have time for another two or three questions, and then I would just like to take a pledge with everyone, and then we
Sure.
can close.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Nishu, you would like to take your question? Nishu, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, sure. Good afternoon, sir.
Nishu, hi Nishu. Yes, tell me.
So I read it somewhere last week that children usually are introduced pencils and eraser in the
Haji.
early days, and then it's only after a couple of years that we are introduced with pen, and there is a reason behind it that few things in life cannot be erased. I mean, I do not agree with it fully, but I could relate it to an extent, because sir, today I feel that in life we play many roles as a kid,
Yeah.
as a mother, and um, I'm in my early 30s, so, and I would
Okay.
like to ask you this question. Every role seem important to us. Every
Yes.
role comes with its own demands.
Yes.
Sometimes we fail, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, and we grow out of it. And I usually
Yeah.
thank, circumstances all the time. But
Yeah.
sometimes I feel that I am a failure at couple of roles. I am good at many more things which I'm not
Hmm.
able to, extract out of myself because I prioritize other people in life in the
Hmm.
name of compassion, in the name of gratitude. But to what an extent? I mean, what is the balance? Where is the balance?
Very nice, Nishu. Thank you for your question. Very, very beautiful question. First thing is that I can understand how tough it is to be a mother and to work and to raise children and to cook and to, the dishes. And I know. I mean, I know exactly what it feels like. Uh, what I can say is this: that number one is that if I uh, think of myself as beyond all roles. I don't say I am this, I am that. I just get into a space which is beyond all roles, which is the silence of the heart. A certain flexibility and fluency comes between the roles. It's easy to go from this role to that role, just like the joker in a pack.
Yeah.
Joker in a pack, is it spades, clubs, diamonds, or hearts? What is the joker?
Uh,
It's not none of those, no, Nishu.
Yeah.
It's none
Yeah.
of those, and yet it can be ace of spades, or it can be two of diamonds, or it can be one of clubs. So, like that, when we are silent inside, When we draw upon the universal power, our capacity to handle things becomes much, much better. We become more creative, more joyful, and we become more flexible, and resistance comes down. But when we are struggling with our roles, we're not happy and we're resisting and fighting things, then my creativity comes down, my flexibility comes down. So I
So
would, yeah, go ahead.
so so the emotion which you just shared, or the feeling that happens, that comes to me and many others whom
Yeah,
I'm, but the point is, we again go back to a stage wherein we reflect, then why back to this position again? Then we need to invest hours or
yeah.
days. Yeah, so
No,
is this
no,
normal? Is this
no, no,
normal?
no, 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 no. So just remember, if you have a small rock and a water drops on it, you find that a hole is created on the rock.
Yeah.
So ऐसे ही every day, small micro habits, every day do something which takes you closer to this understanding. Even if for 3 minutes, Nishu, for 3 minutes, you can sit silently and surrender everything to the divine creative intelligence. Just be silent. 3 minutes. Is that too much of an ask? I know you're busy. I know you're overburdened. 3 minutes, right? And tell yourself every day, with God's grace, with the help of the Almighty, I can handle anything. See, look at it like this. The divine intelligence is handling the galaxies and the stars and cosmos and the sea and ocean. No problem. A galaxy, just blow it away, finished. Now, when you start connecting with that power, Nishu, your tasks will seem so small. But because we forget that connection to the power, वो थोड़ा सा उसमें गड़बड़ हो जाता है. तो आप दिन में 3-4 बारी 2-3 मिनट बैठिए and see what happens. Yeah, and be joyful. I mean, do things that make you happy. Take time to listen to happy music, exercise, have fun, laugh a little bit more, and you'll find that life becomes easier between the roles. Okay, one more question, and then we will have a little interesting pledge.
Yeah,
And yes,
sir, I would like to take up a question. Shirin, can you unmute and ask that question? She has beautifully posted one question.
sure,
She's,
sure.
or I'll take that question on her behalf. So she goes on to say, as you said, life is a field of possibilities. But
Yes,
how can we know which is the right field to be chosen by us, which
right.
not only benefits us but also the society?
Excellent,
Also,
excellent. So,
second part of the question is, can practicing quiet time help attaining that?
yes, yes, definitely. So the answer to the second question is big yes, because you're guided on what you have to do. And the answer to the first part of the question is, the thing that the universe wants you to do will come wrapped up in joy. Please remember this over and over again. If it doesn't give you joy, if it doesn't make your eyes shine, it's not meant for you. If I hate doing calculations and accounts, I feel totally non-joyful about it. It's not meant for me, because the universe wants you to be joyful. The universe wants you to have shining eyes and to celebrate. So whoever asked the question, I think it was Shireen or whoever asked, look for shining eyes. Look for what makes your eyes shine, what makes your heart soar, what makes you joyful, what comes naturally to you. For me, teaching and sharing from my heart and writing poems and doing drama comes naturally to me, so that's mine to do. Making Balancing ledgers and doing accounts doesn't come for me. Not that it's a bad thing, it's needed, but it's not mine to do, right? So the way to find out what is yours to do is to be silent and to ask, what will make my eyes shine, what will make my heart soar, what will make me joyful. That is your purpose, that is why you're here. And of course, it uses your strengths. Like one of my uh, relatives, she's extremely fond of cooking. She loves to make lovely food and is delighted by feeding others. Well, that's what God has kept her for, and she loves it. You're getting the point. And there's no good or bad. I mean, we need all kinds, and everybody, everything is important. Okay. Anything else? Because
Sir, can I add to this?
yes, please, please, Nishu. Yes, of course.
So
And I
yesterday,
love your little child's voice in the background. I love it.
wait
It's
a
so,
second. Say hi.
hey,
Hi.
hey, hello, how are you? What's
Hi.
his name?
He's Athar. He's 4.5. Okay.
Athar. How sweet. Wonderful. Yes, Nishu, add. Please add.
Yesterday, I just read a small story. It was of a WhatsApp founder. His name is Brian Acton. So
Yeah,
he was like, it was, I don't remember the years exactly, but it was 2008 when he was hunting for a job. And
yeah.
he went to Facebook and Google or Amazon for placements, and everyone rejected him. And
Got
he
it.
talked about it. And then in Silicon Valley, it was his birthday when he
Yeah.
launched WhatsApp. When it was
Okay.
conceived, the concept was conceived.
Got it. Got
And
it.
we know WhatsApp today, what it
Yes, 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 yes.
his belief, I'm sharing it with the last question which someone asked you, that the best deals, the best moments in are because of the things, the best deals which do not happen. जो चीजें
Yes,
ना उनकी वजह से चीजें हुई हैं. So we should
absolutely.
thank things अगर उसका Facebook में या
Yeah. Absolutely. Very true, Nishu.
yeah, so
Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful. You're right. Absolutely. You know, you have to have a faith that the universe is looking out for you.
yeah, so if something is not working out for us, it is not meant for us.
Absolutely. Beautiful. And yes, sometimes you try
Sir,
again,
what
sometimes you don't
Amazon?
try. Ram Narayan,
जी what Amazon?
आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं राम नारायण जी? Amazon नहीं, ये WhatsApp के फाउंडर की बात कर रही थी निशु कक्कर जी. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so
Yeah.
I think with that we will close, and I just want you to join me in a little pledge. You don't have to unmute; it'll get cacophonous, but just join me in a pledge. So I remember, and you can say it out loud. You don't have to unmute. I remember that I am one with the infinite creative intelligence of life. At my core, I am an ocean of creative compassion. I will remember this and act with clarity, confidence, courage, and compassion to bring love and light into the world. I will collaborate with all souls who have the same deeper intention. And so it is now. And so it is now. And thank you, universe. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. All the very best, and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Here I would like to borrow a very beautiful thank you message by Shirin. She's there on the chat box, but I know she's got a small child. But I would, on behalf of the Bhopal School of Social Sciences and the Equal Opportunity Cell, thank you so much, sir, for really igniting these participants, and hope we all become like the Jugnus, as you mentioned, in spreading the light of love and compassion. Thank you so much, sir. And you know, just last thing, the motto of our college is moving towards a better world. So webinars like this, and when you take inspirational sessions like this, it really motivates and ignites our young minds, and the motto becomes more clear and it seems more realistic. Yes, moving towards a real world, even in a chaotic world like this.
Yes.
So let's be in the present. Let's all try to become the little Jugnus, spreading love and compassion. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. It was such a joy interacting with you, and lots of love and good wishes, and we'll be in touch. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Bye, everyone. Bye, Nakul. Bye, Ram. Bye. Okay. Cheers.
Thank you, dear participants, for being there. Thank you, Vijay ma'am. Thank you. Thanks a lot for helping us conduct this webinar. And thanks to all my core members for the support rendered. Thanks once again to all the participants. Please, before leaving, do fill the feedback form and help us in the process. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheena. Thank you, Arun. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.